Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk a little bit more about the whole GameStop short squeeze. On yesterday, I listened to some of the analysts on CNBC and some of the commentary, even from some more seasoned YouTubers as myself, just talking about the everything that's going on. And so it made me think of a few different things, and it made me just want to point out a few different real truths that happen during things like this. And to get right to it, I was quite annoyed with some of the stuff that I heard. So be sure to watch to the end, give a like, and subscribe to the channel. So first, let me go by saying this. So with this and everything that's happening, everybody, you definitely want to be careful if you're trying to play this. Now, I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you to buy. I can't tell you to sell. One, I'm not a financial advisor. Two, in situations like this, you just don't really know what may happen from 1 minute to the next. And so you have to be careful. So if you are trying to, get in, or if you feel like you want to chase it, listen, you're grown, you can do whatever you want to do, but just be careful. Because in an instance like this, you're going to have a few things that happen. You're going to have people that make money, and then you're going to have people that lose money. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that facet throughout this video. But one of the things that kind of annoyed me was listening to CNBC analysts, listening to people that have been investing for some time. Now, myself personally, I've been investing since 2006. So I have a little bit, more time in the game. So I know I've seen a lot of different things, but this is something that we've never seen before. Now, me personally, I don't see really a problem with anything that's going on. As well as I think the WallStreetBets community is pretty cool. I enjoy reading the thread. I enjoy the things people are saying. I think it's pretty cool to see the excitement that's around it. But there were a few things that I heard people saying yesterday, as well as even this morning, just kind of I guess you could say, being disrespectful to other investors. And like I said, you're hearing this from more of those that are older, seasoned investors. Not everyone, but you do have some that have a prominent voice, as well as a lot of these CNBC analysts and people who have media voice, who have had a lot of negative things to say, like calling the people on WallStreetBets children. We need to make sure we monitor the children. The children need supervision. In reference to them being able to call for some investigation into WallStreetBets. Now, understand this. Nobody is doing anything illegal. It's simply just trading. It's simply investing and trading, but it's the same type of thing that hedge funds do. So now the problem is not what's happening in WallStreetBets. The problem is that you have people who normally eat off of the little guys all the time, who are now getting their panties in a bunch. And simply it's behind just being jealous and envious, because if we go back way back, let's go back to even just when I started investing. When I started investing, wasn't nobody on YouTube talking about no investing in stocks. It wasn't a lot you could Google. You didn't have the access to the information that you have now. And because you have more access to information, that allows for you to be able to invest and make decisions a lot faster than what you had to do back when I started. Because back when I started, I was watching CNBC, I was going getting books from the library. You could Google some stuff, but it wasn't a lot out there like that. And so for a long time, the financial investing sector has kind of been coveted and kind of protected. It's almost kind of had a lock on it because of the way that you could invest and the way that you couldn't invest. For example, when I first started, I was able to invest, starting with $30. I have a video, it's one of my first videos that I put on this channel. And so being able to invest $30 was huge to me, because prior to that, I would watch family members, in particular my mom, try to get into investing, but she never had enough money to get started, because the way that things work now, it's not the same. And so she was always pushed away. But she's only one of many people who could, if they didn't have enough money, the door to get into investing was very slim, and it didn't open for a lot of people. So you always had the same people, same groups of people making money. So the industry kind of had this mysterious hieroglyphic, you can't really get too much information out of it type of feel. When we go back, back to when I was 18 and 15 and stuff like that, to where literally people would have to check their stocks from getting the newspaper. So fast forward to now, you got Google, you got YouTube, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got anything you can think of, you got blogs, you got all these different mediums. So what that does is that takes the attention away from the mainstream media, like your CNBC or any other shows or any of those, or Bloomberg's and all those different media streams that used to have a lock on the market. Now they no longer have that because you have platforms, for example, like YouTube, which is definitely more powerful. So as we're seeing people who normally don't get these type of wins get huge amount of wins just behind this short squeeze. So as I stated, like, yes, they're calling for investigations and things like that. One of the things you do have to be aware of that, yes, if the SEC gets involved, or even if, you know, some of these investment corporations call, because some of these, you know, these brokerage accounts and these investing apps that you're using, you know, some of them have offices that are located right on Wall Street. So if you have Wall Street, you know, putting pressure on them to maybe freeze stocks or to halt this and to halt that, just because, you know, the big hedge fund companies are losing a lot of money, then what happens is it can, you know, if that stock gets frozen or if it's halted, what happens is, you know, once you have your money in, you can't take it out. So then once it comes back online, a lot of times it's a little bit lower. So that sucks if they were to try to do something like that, all because hedge funds have lost a lot of money behind this. So here's the thing, there's 4 people in this picture. And one person you might not know. So you have the person like you and I who are investing, who are getting some wins, or who made some money or whatever, whoever you are in that scenario. So some people have made money, you know, from the whole GameStop shorting thing, the AMC and the Kosh, which was up crazy, like in the last 2 days, like up $70, which is crazy. But people have made money from that. All right. Now, in that same instance, you have some people that are now like trying to say, oh, I want to make money too, and they jump in, and the time that they jump in may cause them to lose the money that they put in, or most of the money they put in, because they got in at the wrong time, or because you just don't know what happens. So that's 2 people. So then you have the third person, which is the hedge funds, who, yes, they lose money. So basically the people that, it's almost like Robinhood, like you're taking from the rich and giving to the poor. So in that scenario, you know, the hedge funds are left with the debt. Normally, the average people like you and I, or the companies itself, they're left with the loss. But now the hedge funds are left with the loss. So that's the other person. So then you have the fourth person that a lot of people don't talk about. And that's your politicians, your analysts, your CNBC analysts, and all these, you know, other people that are involved in, you know, around investing. So now what you may not know about people who work around like investments or like investment media and in different positions of, you know, finance and things like that. Some of them are regulated so that they cannot, or they have to sign, you know, a clause basically saying that they can't invest in individual stocks, or they can't, you know, have these assets or have that asset, because they're talking about, you know, investing and talking about stocks. So they don't want, you know, people to be on like mainstream media saying like, oh yes, that's a great buy, you should buy that, and they have it in their portfolio. So they don't regulate politicians and stuff like that, but that's what you do have. But here's the thing, most people, of course, they may not have things in their name, but they have different trusts, they have things underneath their family, you know, different, you know, businesses, all these things that kind of distance themselves from it, and they make a lot of investments in that. And some of the places that they put their money in, hedge funds. You have a lot of politicians, companies, people who work in investments, analysts, where they may put their money with these hedge funds. And now if you understand what a hedge fund is, understand that a hedge fund, it doesn't just make money for the company itself, but it makes money for its investors. Now, if you haven't been familiar with what a hedge fund is, think about the movie Wall Street, The Wolf of Wall Street, or The Big Short. Those movies are based around hedge funds. And the stuff that you see with that, it's very much the stuff that really happens with the hedge fund industry. So what's happening is you have people who are really upset because They're not making the money, the millions and billions of dollars that they normally would make. And so now their money's kind of shifted in this little short period of time, however this lasts, with all these different short squeezes on these different companies that are happening. And so they're upset because that not only are, the hedge funds not making money, but they're not making as much money either. And so you see that kind of rant where people are just, they're upset, but it's okay for them to do it. And then people become very, disrespectful, calling people, well, these are young kids, they use Webull and they use Robinhood and they use, whatever. Things are changed now. And from someone that's been in the market for a while, I'm not that old, but being in the market, since 2006, that means I do have some skin in the game. And I don't have a problem with any of it. In fact, I think it's pretty cool to see. I love to see how things are evolving. So I think it's poor to see that you would it's right in front of your face that Wall Street will have the reaction that they're having when they know they have made billions and trillions of dollars, years for years and years and years. And they don't care about the people that they hurt when they do things like short stocks. They don't care about the companies that they hurt when they short stocks. So why is it now all of a sudden this big concern like, oh, it's costing, this company so much money? Okay, and they have the ability to still be able to go and get funding and get bailouts, and they have access to so much money to get more investors, to raise capital, to raise more money. They have that. Well, a lot of these companies that they're shorting, they don't have that power. A lot of people who get caught, holding these stocks because they really believe in the company, and then the company gets shorted, and now they're stuck with, less money, especially in the options, or if they're trading margins, something like that, and now they're stuck in the hole, or they don't have as much money, or they lost most of the money they put in because of hedge funds that do shorts. Anyone that understands this knows exactly what I'm saying, and it's the truth. So they don't care about that, but now they expect us to care, like the regular investors, to be so sorrowful that the hedge funds have lost money. So now the media can be funny when all the while that a lot of times our media kind of points you in certain directions, not necessarily to the direction that they even may believe, but a lot of times you get different opinions, you get all these different things. So just like you see us on YouTube, most of us doing videos like this, whereas around finance, we're not financial advisors, and we have to give that disclaimer. However, when you get with a financial advisor, not all financial advisors, but I would just say half, they're more concerned with the company. They're more concerned with the money that is being made for the company. So they're pushing the company's objectives when they bring on clients, or their own personal objectives versus keeping you first. And that's not all, but like I said, a good portion. So in a situation like this allows a person who has less experience and they're just a regular person to be able to make money. Now, granted that these things are happening, as I stated before, you definitely want to be careful around this. If you've made some money, and it's okay, and I can't tell you what to do, but if you've made some money, it's okay to maybe sell some and take some profits and get out while you can. Because the more this thing goes on, it might get a little dicey, the way that Wall Street is crying, and Wall Street definitely has the ear to our government. So you just don't want to find yourself in the position to where you've seen your portfolio go up because you made some money, and then it goes all the way back down because you didn't sell or you didn't take some profits. Now, I can't tell you what to do, but if you're looking at this and you haven't made any investments, definitely do some research and be very careful, because you don't want to be the person that puts money in and the stock is all the way up here and then that goes down and then it never comes back up. So basically you just lost money. So I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you to just be careful around this situation. As I stated in my last video, there's going to be some people that make money and there's going to be some people who lose money. Just make sure you're not the one that loses money in this. Anyway, so just like many people, I'll be watching and just checking in and seeing what's going on and seeing how things are doing around this. I think it's cool to read the testimonies of people who literally have been able to make money, and some who've literally made millions, from, not necessarily being able to survive to they took some chances in the market and it worked out for them. I like hearing stories like that. Yes, you should be educated around what you do. And yes, there is a significant amount of risk. However, this is where we are, and it's okay to just appreciate what has happened for some, just normal people. And hopefully this thing doesn't go into where SEC does some bogus investigations and start bothering people. Because if they do something like that, that just tells you, really the toil of, Wall Street, or just our country in a sense. Meanwhile, it took them what, 9 months to get, another stimulus round to people, but yet, people are very prompt at paying attention to this. I mean, listen, I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out facts. I just hope that no one gets hurt in this. And like I said, you kind of know somebody will, because everybody's talking about it. But just be careful out there in what you're doing, and know, people on WallStreetBets, you're not doing anything illegal. Anyways, guys, hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there in your investing. All right, take care. Peace.